Good evening.
I see we have Santa with us tonight.
Ho, ho, ho.
And I almost wore mine too.
Oh.
Welcome to the Madison City Council meeting for Monday, December 21st, 2020. We have in attendance with us the following city officials. Diana, if you would do a roll call, please.
Mayor Kathy Catazero Perry. Thought I saw her on here.
She's muted.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Mayor Kathy Catazero Perry. Well, she was on here. I see her. Safety Service Director Barb Sylvester.
Present.
Auditor Jane Ferraro.
Stephanie Myers in for the auditor's office.
Thank you.
Diane, I'm here. It's Kathy. I had to reconnect. I couldn't hear anyone.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Law Director Justin Richard.
Present.
Chief Counsel Bill Bartos.
Present.
Chief Engineer David Kroc. Jason Popeil. Community Development Director Samantha Walters. Economic Development Director Dave Maley.
Present.
Parks and Rec Director Steve Pedro. Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides Boron.
Present.
Are there any city officials present that I might have missed?
Terry Argent, Massillon Health Department.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, Madam President.
Thank you. Welcome to everyone that's attending. Under number 5 on the agenda is where the public can speak on any item that appears on tonight's agenda. And then again, under number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on tonight's agenda. I would like to ask everyone, if you're not speaking, to please mute your mic so we can limit the background noise. Thank you very much. Roll call.
Creamer.
Present.
Gregg.
Present.
Hernkane.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Littman.
Here.
Lombardi.
Here.
Starrett.
Here.
And Barrett.
Present.
Roll call of 8 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All present and accounted for. Councilwoman Megan Starrett.
Thank you, Madam President. Everybody could please join me in the Lord's Prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen. The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Starrett. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
No, I'm still working on them.
Okay. We're at number 5 on the agenda, where citizens may speak on any topic that does appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address, and topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Hearing none, we'll move on to new and miscellaneous business. Does anyone have any? Councilman Barrett?
I just have a question, if I may, about when the next Parks and Rec Board meeting will be held and where. Well, is it online?
Does anyone have an answer for that? Councilwoman Kramer, do you know?
We just had one last week for the month of December, and I've been discussing when the next meeting would be for January. They haven't decided on the day of the week just yet.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Seeing none, we'll move into introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 136, 2020.
An ordinance amending section 1151.02 of the Massillon Code of 1985, rezoning certain tracts of land from R-1 family residential to B1 local business and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Starrett?
First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 136, 2020 has received first reading. Ordinance number 137, 2020.
An ordinance amending section 1 of ordinance 1-2018 by enacting a new section to the occupation list of class titles -510, 511 Parks and Recreation Department and 920 Golf Course Department, part-time, temporary, seasonal wage classes and rates in the city of Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, Madam President. As we discussed in our work session, this is a piece of legislation designed to allow the Parks and Recreation Department to bring their minimum wage up to the same as the state of Ohio, and going forward, be able to do that without, I believe, without further legislation. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, then I move that we we waive the rules requiring 3 readings of the legislation and bring it forward for a vote.
Seconded by?
Councilwoman Starrett.
Roll call for suspension?
Gregg,
Yes.
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett, Barrett,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage?
Hearn Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes. Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 137, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 146, 2020.
I'm sorry, it must be a typo on my part. Ordinance number 138.
And then is the next one 147?
Nope. Must
You're
have
killing
printed,
me, Diane.
you must have printed the, you're looking at the wrong page. Yeah, 46 and 47. But this is 138, Madam President.
And then I have 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51.
You're skipping. She
You must
missed
have skipped a
pages.
page.
Okay. Ordinance number 138, 2020.
An ordinance to accept the replat and dedication of a road right-of-way on Marion Avenue Southeast, Massillon, Ohio.
Councilman Lewis?
That's Councilman Barrett.
All
Right.
Let me pull up the right one. Go ahead, Councilman Barrett.
This is a replat request. There's no emergency language attached to it, so we'll just do first reading tonight.
Thank you. Ordinance number 138, 2020 has received first reading. Ordinance number 139, 2020.
An ordinance to accept the replat and dedication of a road right-of-way on Marion Avenue Southeast, Massillon, Ohio.
This is the same thing. It's just a replat down on Marion where they're going to be doing some development. There's no emergency language, so if there's no further discussion, I'll just put this for first reading also.
Thank you. Ordinance number 139, 2020 has received first reading. Ordinance number 140, 2020.
An ordinance authorizing the auditor of the City of Massillon, Ohio, and/or the appropriate city officials to accept and enter into an agreement with Stark County for a coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security CARES Act subgrant on behalf of the City of Massillon, and declaring an emergency.
Council, gotta help me out, Diane.
Lewis.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this particular request is the CARES Act as stated. It is for $89,713.41. It is to be used to help with the reimbursements for our our first responders. Is there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 140-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by?
Councilwoman Starrett.
Roll call for suspension.
Lewis.
Yes.
Littman.
Yes.
Lombardi.
Yes.
Starrett.
Yes.
Barrett.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
And Hernkane.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Littman.
Yes.
Lombardi.
Yes.
Starrett.
Yes.
Barrett.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
Kane. And Lewis.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 140, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 141, 2020.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1217 local coronavirus relief fund for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is the appropriation of the $89,713.41. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 141-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by Councilman Hernkane. Roll call for suspension.
Lombardi.
Yes.
Starrett. Barrett.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Hernkane.
Yes.
I think I messed up here. Lewis
Yes.
and Littman,
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage?
This is for passage. Got lost there.
Okay.
Was that-
Ordinance number, go ahead.
Was that for suspension or passage? I'm sorry. I got lost there.
I thought suspension, Mr. Lewis.
I believe that was suspension.
Okay, and for passage.
Okay. Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Littman.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 141, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 142, 2020.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Parks and Rec Department of the City of Massillon, Ohio, and/or the appropriate city officials to accept and enter into an agreement for a coronavirus aid relief and economic security CARES Act grant on behalf of the City of Massillon and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is similar to what we just did, except for this one is for $25,000. It is for the Parks and Recreation Department, specifically for adult day services or senior centers. And obviously we have the senior center. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 142-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Thank you. Roll call for suspension.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Starrett.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 142, 2020 has passed. I'd like to go back just for a second to 141. Was I correct in who seconded that? Was that Kane or was that Gregg? Was it Councilman Gregg?
I seconded
You
it
said-
verbally, yes.
Okay, I apologize for that. I wrote the wrong name down. It was seconded on number 141, 2020 by Councilman Gregg. Thank you.
That's right.
All right, ordinance number 143, 2020.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1234 Park and Recreation Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is appropriation of the $25,000 with the senior center. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 143-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilman Gregg?
Thank you. Roll call for suspension.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
and Barrett.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane, Lewis,
Yes.
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 143, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 144, 2020.
An ordinance reducing the appropriations in the 1209 Police Pension Fund, the 1210 Fire Pension Fund, the 1409 Municipal Road Fund, the 3105 State Patrol Transfer Fund, and the 3110 Massa Museum Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, all stated funds in the title would have a reduction according to this ordinance. And this is just for the zeroing out of the accounts for accounting principle purposes for the end of the year. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 144-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Roll call for suspension.
Herm Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Herm Kane.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 144, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 145, 2020.
An ordinance reducing the appropriations in the 1421 wastewater treatment plant upgrade fund for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is just like the last one we did, except for it's specifically for the wastewater treatment plant. Any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 145-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilwoman Starrett.
Roll call for suspension.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Herm Kane,
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Herm Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Littman.
yes,
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 145, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 146, 2020.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1235 Community Health Services Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is an appropriation of $17,000 for additional grant dollars that the health department received related to the coronavirus. Any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 146-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilman Gregg.
Roll call for suspension.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
and Lombardi. 8
Yes.
yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Herm Kane, Lewis,
Yes.
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi, and Starrett.
Yes.
8
Yes.
yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 146, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 147, 2020.
An ordinance authorizing the Madison City Health Department to enter into an addendum to an existing agreement with the Stark County Combined General Health District and to accept additional grant funding for COVID-19 activities, contact tracing, equipment for remote work, and vaccine planning needs, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is adding on to the previous agreement where there's $81,459 that the health department can qualify for. Much of this related to the vaccine planning that is currently being undergoing throughout our county and state. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 147-2020 forward for a vote.
Roll call for suspension, or seconded by?
Councilwoman
Thank you. Roll
Starrett.
call for suspension.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
and Barrett.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Barrett.
Yes, too.
Okay, and Creamer.
Yes.
Yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 147, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 148, 2020.
An ordinance authorizing the Massillon Recreation Center to extend the offer to all city employees who are eligible for healthcare benefits another 2-year complimentary membership to the Massillon Recreation Center effective January 1st, 2021, and to allow city employees to purchase a married couple or family membership and deduct the cost of an individual membership from that cost, with the difference being an out-of-pocket expense for the city employee, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is a continuation of a current practice that we hold. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 148-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by?
Councilman Gregg.
Roll call for suspension.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Gregg. Gregg,
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Yes.
Gregg. Oh, I'm sorry. Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and King.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 148, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 149, 2020.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of Massillon, Ohio, to exercise the option to renew the agreement with Kimball Recycling and Disposable Incorporated for the collection of residential and commercial refuse and recycling for the 2021 calendar year and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is just basically us exercise, as it says, exercising the option with Kimball to continue to utilize the rates that we have with a cost of living increase, essentially. Are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I make a motion we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 149-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilwoman Sterrett,
Thank you. Roll call for suspension.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
yes.
Barrett,
Yes. Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Littman.
yes,
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 149, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 150, 2020.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio to enter into a 1-year prison transport agreements between the city of Massillon and political subdivisions using the city's prisoner transport service and authorizing the auditor of the city of Massillon, Ohio to deposit said funds into the 1100 General Fund and the 1401 Capital Improvement Fund effective January 1st, 2021, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, can I call upon the Safety Service Director, please?
Yes. Mr.
Miss-
Go ahead. Barb.
Yes, Ms. Sylvester, as pointed out at the work session, have all the agreements been corrected to show the correct subdivision in their title?
Yes, sir, they have.
All right, if there's no other questions or discussion this evening, I would plan to move this forward. Seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 150-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by.
Councilman Gregg?
Roll call for suspension. Thank you.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
and Lombardi.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Starrett.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 150, 2020 has passed. Ordinance number 151, 2020.
An ordinance amending section 181.01, purpose and authority to levy tax rate of the codified ordinances of the city of Massillon, Ohio, and authorizing the continuation of an existing 0.2% levy on income to be effective January 1st, 2022 for 5 years for the purpose of city street maintenance and repair and the city street department, subject to the approval of the electors of the city of Massillon, Ohio, and an election to be conducted at the primary election on May 4th, 2021.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, it'd be my intention to give this first reading, but is Mr. Maley available?
Mr. Maley, are you with us? Mr. Maley?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I was on mute.
Go ahead.
Mr. Maley, what is the time frame we have that if we wanted to put this on the primary as far as getting it passed?
I would suggest that we give it at least, if you want to give it 3 reads, that we obviously move forward tonight. And I think the deadline is February 3rd or 4th to actually get it in. I'm trying to find that as we speak. But it's like the first week of February. We have to have everything over to the Board of Elections.
It's probably
February
February
3rd.
3rd at 4 p.m.
February 3rd. Yes, February 3rd at 4 p.m. for the May 4th primary.
All right, with that said, first reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 151, 2020 has received first reading. Resolution number 19, 2020.
A resolution directing the Stark County Board of Elections to conduct an election at the primary election on May 4th, 2021, for the purpose of providing the electors of the City of Massillon, Ohio, with the opportunity to approve or disapprove an ordinance providing for the continuation of an existing 0.2% levy on income to be effective January 1st, 2022, for 5 years for the purpose of city street maintenance and repair and the city street department, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
First reading.
Thank you. Resolution number 19, 2020 has received first reading. Ordinance number 131, 2020.
No, we're at number 8, Claudette. That was the last ordinance. Unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Mhm.
Is there any unfinished business?
No, there is not.
And there is no ordinance number 131?
No.
Okay, that's right before number 17 on my sheet.
Yes, Madam President, that will be in the second reading category.
Okay, isn't that where we are right now?
No, we're at petitions and general communications, section 9.
I don't have a section 9. Hold on. My goodness, Diane, I don't know what I printed off, but I thought I printed off.
Don't me either.
Seriously, hold on.
Like an old agenda.
No, it's the right agenda. So we are at, okay, we just finished resolution 19. All right, petition general communications. Are there any?
No, ma'am, there are not.
Okay. Bills, accounts, and claims.
Yes, we have a bill in the amount of $175 payable to Mass and Cable TV for the installation of our fiber service for the Wi-Fi.
Councilman Lewis,
I make a motion that we pay the bills.
seconded by,
Councilwoman Starrett.
roll call.
Creamer,
Yes.
Yes.
Ern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Derrick,
Yes.
and Barrett.
Yes.
8 yes to pay the bills.
Thank you. The bills will be paid and charged to their proper accounts. All right, I'm not too proud to admit when I've made a mistake. Don't ask me how this happened, but my printer printed two-sided, and my printer has never printed two-sided. So my missing pages were on the back. Color me stupid.
I was gonna recommend that, but I just
It never prints two-sided. Next time, recommend it, Ed. That will not hurt my feelings. Okay. Oh, my golly. All right, the clerk will pay the bills and charge them to their proper accounts. Reports from city officials. Do we have any?
Yes, we have the treasurer's report for November of 2020, and we also have the auditor's report for November 2020.
Councilman Lewis.
yes, I make a motion that we accept the auditor's report.
Seconded by,
Councilman Gregg?
roll call.
Greg,
Yes.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
Yes to accept the auditor's report.
Thank you. The auditor's report has been accepted. Reports of committees. Our next work session and our last work session for 2020 will be next Monday, December 28th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Does anyone have anything they want to add? Okay. Resolutions and request of council members. Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I'd like to make a request of the administration that at that committee meeting of the 28th, that the council is able to receive an update on the property formerly known as Affinity Hospital.
Okay. Councilman Hernkane.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a request of the administration as well for the next meeting to give us a report on where we are at with the quotes for the vehicle activated or the vehicle activated passive street sign flashing lights and bumps that we passed 6 months ago.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none. Call the calendar. Ordinance number 118-2020.
An ordinance to adopt the appropriations for the operating and capital expenditures of the City of Massillon, Ohio for the fiscal year 2021 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is the budget that we've been discussing for a couple of months now. Are there any further discussion or questions this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion. I make a motion that we bring ordinance number 118-2020 forward for a vote.
Roll call.
Hernkane. Hernkane.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Littman.
Yes.
Lombardi.
Point of order, Madam President. We didn't get a second on this motion.
Thank you. You're correct. Second by Councilwoman Sterrett. I'm not certain if you need to start the roll call again or not, Diane.
Well, it's call of the calendar.
You would
Would
need a
that be a
second.
third read? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but you need to restart the vote. We didn't get a proper second, so.
And we do now, Councilwoman Sterrett. Thank you,
Okay.
Councilman Lombardi.
Okay, well, I'm start again with Hernkane.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Littman.
Yes.
Lombardi.
Yes.
Sterrett.
Yes.
Barrett.
Yes.
Creamer.
Yes.
And Gregg.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank
Correct?
you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 118-2020 has passed. There are no third reading ordinances and resolutions. Second reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 127-2020.
An ordinance amending section 1151.02 of the Mountain Code of 1985, rezoning a certain tract of land from RM-1 multifamily residential to R-2 one-family residential and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Sterrett.
Thank you, Madam President. Second reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 127-2020 has received second reading. Ordinance number 131-2020.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 3109 TIF Service Payment Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is making certain appropriations as stated. We discussed this particularly last work session about the amounts that need to go into the accounts. Are there any further questions or discussions this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 131-2020 forward for a vote.
Seconded by,
Councilman Gregg,
thank you. Roll call for suspension.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
yes.
and Hernkane.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Littman,
yes,
Lombardi,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Hernkane,
Yes.
and
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 131-2020 has passed. We have arrived at number 17 on the agenda, where citizens can speak on any topic that did not appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address, and topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
President
Yes.
and Larry L.J. DeLuca, 2954 Veterans Boulevard, Southeast Massillon, Ohio. And I want to say, with what you got going on tonight, you guys are doing a great job there. I want to talk about some of the business owners, the friends of mine. I've always said band together, Ohio strong, Massillon strong. These business owners got together recently. I told them to get together, oppose restrictions on businesses to seek to slow the spread of the coronavirus. And 30 people got together recently at Mulligan's Pub here in Jackson Township. And they wanted to see what they can do, and I appreciate that. They band together to stand up to the restrictions. They met for about 2 hours, and Doug Wright was one of the 30. So some of these business owners are independent contractors and don't have W-2 employees, so they are not eligible for the Paycheck Protection Program assistance. I don't know if some of our listeners know that. What's killing our business owners here in Massillon and Cleveland and Akron? Unconstitutional mandates, the loss of the civil liberties, and really the media coverage of the pandemic. They're really blowing it out of proportion, I think, in my opinion. Joanna Swallen's one of the owners of this Mulligan's Pub in Jackson Township. She had a big PowerPoint presentation there, and she had the statistics of why the coronavirus is overblown. And I looked at it and said, okay, you can be asymptomatic and spread it, not know it, and get it, and maybe not in a restaurant, not in Massillon, not in Akron, not in Cleveland, okay? And everybody right now, the way they got to be out at 10 o'clock, they got to be out of Dodge. Dodge is Massillon, Ohio. And what do? They go to house parties, 911. That spreads the coronavirus. Recently, I heard Governor DeWine on the news saying, you don't go out. It's not essential. But you're telling the restaurants, okay, you're killing the restaurants, Gov, because they're not going out. They're not going out to restaurants. So, and some are staying home in fear. Do we want chain restaurants is what I'm asking here tonight. Are you masking up? I wash my hands. I disinfect, and I follow all the protocols. Governor DeWine, I know he's trying to protect Ohioans. I get it. But right now he's pushing the gas pedal down on the restaurants, and boy, is that hurting. And one final thing here. The Stark County Health Department recently had the statement. I don't know if any of you seen it. The people and that, and they said, well, it's good to you be able to do these and band together. But these death rates, as of Friday, December 18, 2020, the Ohio Department of Health reported more than 605,000 cases, 34,000 hospitalizations, and nearly 8,000 deaths. That's 8,000 too many. And my final question to you, and I know I want you to answer there, but are these hospitalizations and deaths all coming from our restaurants? Here in Massillon, here in Akron, here in Cleveland, here in Cincy, here in Columbus. Really? Where's the proof in the Christmas pudding? I hope we all have a great holiday, and I hope these vaccines really get out and we can get back to the Massillon Chambers and elbow bun again. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. DeLuca. Anyone else? Hearing none, before we adjourn, I would just like to say, and I don't know if I'm speaking for anyone else, but I am really looking forward to getting 2020 behind us. And I'm hoping that all of you have a wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and here's hoping for a really, really good and prosperous 2021. Councilman Starrett,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
seconded by,
Councilwoman Letman.
meeting adjourned, and Merry Christmas. Diane,
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
thank you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Diane, I have to be at work tomorrow. Can you come around 20 till for me to sign?
Depending on the weather.
All right.
I'll give you a call.
All right, thanks.
It's supposed to be messy in the morning.
Oh, boy. Because I
Yeah.
have to drive at 9 o'clock. I got to get to.
Oh, God. Okay, I'll call you.
All right, thanks, hon. Bye.
Bye-bye.